Alrighty, hello and welcome to my video editing tutorial. So I'm just gonna go over this part just in case people don't know, but so I'm gonna be doing the Get Loud challenge. So I'll click on that and then just gotta wait for it to load. Then backgrounds. Depending on what your avatar is wearing, you may want to do the purple background, depending if you're like wearing green and it'll clash with the green screen. And the purple does honestly just as good, but I prefer the green screen. So I'm going to click that. And then I like to make sure that my avatar's legs and arms aren't getting cut out on the side. So I adjust the size of it as much as I can, but I also like to keep it as big as I can so it doesn't affect the quality of the video. So I'm just going to do that. Alrighty, then I'm going to press save and then let it do its thing. And then for this challenge, I am going to have two of my other avatars in it. So then I'm going to go and unselect mine and go and select my other avatar that I want to put in, and this repeat the steps. In this video, I'm not going to go over 3D backgrounds, so I'll just go over making my own. So I'm going to open Pinterest. This is my holy grail. And then I actually have a folder that's specifically made for backgrounds. Otherwise, just look up backgrounds on Pinterest and you'll find a lot. And then just gonna find one. I think I'm gonna do that one. Click the three dots, download image, then that should be saved. Then I'm gonna open up Node, press new, then you're gonna go and change it to all layers and then 100%, then press the red plus button, then group, then the gray square, you're gonna make it blue, then press on group, press the red plus button in group, press media, image, and then we're gonna click on the background, and then we're gonna click on the three lines, duplicate, then click on that one that you duplicated, and then just change it to 25. The floor should always be at 25. Then you're gonna just adjust it down to make it kind of blend in with the photo as best as you can. This one you kind of just have to mess around with depending on what photo you chose. And then I just scale it up a little bit to kind of blend it in more and then push it back in until it looks natural. Now that we've done that, I'm going to click on the red plus again, media, video, and then add in one of my green screens. As you can see here, it affects the ratio. So then I'm gonna go to root and then ratio. And then depending on how big your wallpaper is, you can kind of decide what ratio you want to do. But I think I'm gonna do the 9:16 ratio. And then I'm going to go back to root, click 3D settings, position, and then just kind of mess around with the position, get it to where you want it to be. And then once I've fixed that, I'm going to click on my green screen and position her to where I kind of want her to be. Since I want her in the front position, I'm going to want her to be the closest to the screen. Now that I got her where I want her to be, I'm going to go mask, chroma key, and then I usually like to make sure that it's the correct shade of green and then make all of those 1.00 except the alpha clip. And then there you go, she's blended in with the background a little bit more. And then you're gonna go transform. I like to copy the transform, and then when I go to add in my other green screens, then they'll be in the same position and then I can just adjust them from there. So I'm going to click on the one I just added, make it 3D, chroma key, adjust it, and then go to transform, mess with the position. I want her to be behind my main avatar. So then I'm gonna move her behind. Make sure when you're moving the avatar behind that you, on the group, move her behind my main avatar as well, like you saw there, so that there's no clashing. And then you repeat the steps for the same avatar. Since I have that one, I want my other one to be lined up, I'm just gonna copy and transform, or copy the transform for my one that I just added. Sometimes when you download the videos from Zepeto, they aren't synced up, as you can see here. I was hoping they would be, but for this video it's good. So they're just, yeah, they're not quite synced up. So then we have to go into either CapCut or Light Motion. I don't have the subscription anymore for Light Motion, but I find it easier to still do, so I'm going to use that. I just have to do it a wonky way because I don't have the subscription anymore. So I go plus button, make sure it's the same ratio, create from scratch, and then media, add in. Since both of the back ones are pretty much synced up, I'm just going to do my main avatar and sync her to the other two. So I'm going to pick one of the background characters and then go in and add my main character that I'm wanting to sync up to. And as you can see, I have to kind of crop it since I don't want the watermark in it. So I'm making her really small so I can still see my background character and make sure that they sync up. Usually if you scroll all the way back, you can see that it doesn't end at the same time, and that's usually where it's not synced up. So I just move that back to sync it, and then I kind of just watch it to make sure. Yep, and it's good. So then I'll go back and try and find a still frame like there, and then I'll slice it, duplicate it, and then move it ahead like so, and then click on it, adjust her to the size, and then sometimes it's easier to just get rid of that bottom layer so you can see the green screen better and size them correctly. Alrighty, and this is where I will watch it back really quickly to make sure that it's all lined up and good. And then I will press export. Since I don't have the subscription again, I do have to watch an ad. Once I'm done watching the ad, it should start exporting the video. Just let it do its thing. It may or may not take long depending on what project you're doing. And then just press save. And then we're done with the light. We'll go into photos. I'll click on that, and then I just have to crop it so that the black and watermark part is not included. This may or may not affect the quality. Usually it doesn't affect it too horribly. Alright, and then I'm going to go back into Node, click on my main avatar, press the 3 lines, replace, and then tap to repick, click on the new green screen, and then it should be all synced up. So this is where I run into somewhat of an issue with Node, and I was wondering if it was maybe because I was screen recording, but it wasn't. It just was being weird. So you know how we had synced it up, it's like slowed down, and I still don't know why Node was doing this, but what I ended up having to do is just delete it, my main avatar, and then just go back in and re-add it, and then it was fine. But for now, it's just going to be unsynchronized as I show you how to do the lighting and stuff, and then it should be fixed later in the recording. Alright, this is where I'll do the lighting. Click on the avatar you like, then press the plus, effects, layer styles, and then fill, gradient, and then you'll press gradient type. I like to do either the bottom two, but usually I'll just go with radial. And then start color, I will just kind of mess around with it to where I like it. As you can see, I was going to go with this like light tan color, but then I ended up going with like a dark blue. Alright, and then this is where we'll scroll up, press the 3 lines, and then you'll press copy, click on the next avatar, click on the 3 lines, and then you'll just paste layer style, and then do that for the other one as well. And then there you go, you got it blending in with the background a little bit more. And then for shadows, I go duplicate the avatar, and then you'll go transform, and you'll mess with the rotation. Just follow the settings on screen. And then I'll move it down, try to level it as best as I can with the floor, and then move it forward a little bit, and then just kind of fix the rotation as best as you can to match it with the feet. Then I will go layer style, I'll just make it all black, and then I'll go effects, asset store, blur, and then just kind of change it to whatever you think would look best for your video. And then I'll go transform, I'll press more, material, and then opacity, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. And then I'll just kind of bring it down to what I think would look best. And then I'll copy the blur effect, and then just repeat the steps for the other ones. Alright, and then we got our fancy shadows. Alright, and then depending on how big your project is, you might want to go root and then preview resolution and change that down to like 25 if your phone is getting really laggy. That'll help a lot. And then we'll get into our camera movements. We'll go 3D settings, position, and rotation. And then I usually like to press the plus buttons for both of those just to make a little timestamp. And then I think I'm going to want mine a little bit closer. Honestly, for the camera movements, just go with the vibe of your video. I'll show you how to do jump cuts and stuff like that, but honestly, just use your creativity. And just kind of what I like to do for camera movements is follow the dance moves, or if I like know the song really well and know when there's like beats and changes in tempo, I'll kind of try and match it with that as best as I can. But yeah, honestly, just kind of follow what you want to do with the camera movements. So here I'm just going to go back and watch it back to make sure that it's where I want it to be and where I want it to kind of go. That's a good method to do when making your timestamps, is going back and actually watching it to make sure it's actually doing what you want it to. So I'm just, kind of watching it back, seeing how it kind of moves. Ignore my avatar is not being synced. Eventually that does get fixed, I promise. Alright, and then this is where we'll do a jump cut. So I'm adding the keyframes on where I want it to jump, or when I want it to jump. And then I'm adding ones a little bit before it to kind of zoom in to where I want it to jump. And then I click on the ones before and then just move it on top. And then as you can see, it jumps from there, and then once you get there, then it goes closer, and then it doesn't zoom, it just goes straight to it. And then I'm just gonna keep kind of following the movements of the dance and continue adding the keyframes where I want it to. This is where you might run into the background not being as long as the green screen video, so then you just have to go to the little side there and then just, without dragging the whole thing, drag it to the length of the video. Alright, and then once you have that done, you're gonna go back to root, 3D settings, click on the little wrench circle thing, and then curve editor, and then you'll click on the second or the third bottom one, and then just kind of follow the settings on screen and you'll make all of them to that curvature. It can be a little tricky on the phone clicking all of them because some of them can be kind of close together, so you just kind of gotta have patience with it. And then once that's done, you're gonna go to rotation and do the same thing. And then for the next little lighting trick, you're gonna go plus, lighten, and then glow scan. And then just kind of mess around with the settings. Again, it really depends on the background that you choose. I like to have it just be a little bit so it doesn't look too bright, but kind of adds a pop of brightness. And then I'll go in and change the color as well. And then we should be good to press the download button. Make sure before pressing the download button you change the resolution to at least 1080p and quality very high or high. Depending on how big your video is, you may or may not have to lower those settings, which will affect the quality of the video. And then no video does take a while to download the video, so just be patient. Once that's just done, you'll press OK, and that should save to your photo gallery. As you can see, there it is, and it's still unsynced, so after this I stop the recording and fix that really quick. Alright, and then from here we'll go to CapCut. Skip, and then new project. Click on our video. As you can see, I fixed it. And then we'll go effects. My favorite thing to do is go to relight, and then you can kind of pick whatever one you think suits your video best. I usually use the morning sunlight or the warm atmosphere light, or the neon. And then what I'll do is, depending on where my light source is, I will change the lighting. You can click on the bubbles and then move it around to your liking. And I'll press the OK button and then click on it and just kind of watch to see how it reacts to the other lighting. Sometimes it can be really glitchy, but no, it looks okay. And then I like to scroll all the way back and delete that credit part there. Scroll back, and we'll click effects, video effects, and then I already have all of them saved, at least like the main ones I use, but you can kind of scroll through the different categories they have and pick through what ones you like. I really like the one I clicked on because it just adds a little bit of contrast. So yeah, just find an effect that you like and mess around with the settings as much as you would like. And then I will click on the end of it and drag it all the way down to the end of my video. Like so. And then I'll watch it again to just make sure I like how it looks. And then usually this is where I will add the audio. So I'll go audio, extract, and then click on the video that has the sound. But I'm not going to do it for this video. I just am going to go add it once I upload it to Instagram. And then for animations and like cuts and stuff, you'll just click on animations and then you can scroll down until you find one that you think would look good. So I'm just gonna kind of mess around with this a little bit, and then at the bottom you can pull that little blue line and like adjust how long the transition is as well. And then once you find where you want your other transition to be, you split it and then click on animations and then pick what other animation you would like it to jump to. And then once I have all my animations picked out, I like to go and watch it through just to make sure that it all lines up correctly. With the animations, it will look really laggy, but once you download it, it's not laggy. Alright, and once we're done, press export. Make sure the setting is at 1080p as well, and then let it do its thing. Again, depending on how long your video is, it may or may not take a little longer. So again, just be patient with it. It takes time. Alrighty, and then that should save to your photo album. And then from there, you can just kind of watch it. Again, make sure that it's all good. Sometimes the quality may be bad, so then I like to go into my Wink app. And that just kind of helps increase the quality again if you lose any while editing. And sometimes if the quality is like super bad, I'll do it and then make it go through a second time. But I feel like my video is fine, so I'm not going to do that this time around. And then again, just watch it, make sure it's all good. And yeah, that's the end of my tutorial. Thank you for watching.